What we're doing today is we're going to do a walkthrough of all the Jeep mods that we've done. We get asked a lot, you know, hey, what's that bumper? What's that light? So we figured we'd get together, we'd do a little video, go through all our parts, have a blog that'll have all the parts listed and links to everything. So let's get started. So I thought we would start on the outside first. Going over some of the mods that we've done. Let's kind of start with the wheels. So they are Black Rhino. They're a Cinco, which no longer is made. They are a -18 offset. They're a 17x9. They're wrapped in Nitto Ridge grapplers, 35" by 12.5s. Just standard. We were thinking about possibly going a little bit bigger one day, but for right now, it fits in the garage, so we're going to keep it this way. And I'm going to cheat. I have my cheat notes for when I forget who made what. So original Fox shocks that came with the Mojave. We do have an AEV 2" spatial lift that does give us a little bit of lift off the ground. Because the Mojave doesn't have a sway bar disconnect, we have Apex quick disconnects. So as a matter of just switching the knob over, and it will disconnect your sway bar, do it on both sides, and when you're done, you lock them and you're good to go. So it makes it super easy for disconnecting your sway bar. Front bumper is a Smittybilt Apollo. We had the panels powder coated to match. We have our Apex Badlands winch, or Badland winch. A lot of people going with the Warn, they're going with other brands. These have excellent ratings, and you know, a couple of people we follow use them all the time, and it works great. We've had no problems with it. So also underneath we have a Quadratech engine oil pan and transmission cover, skid plate. We definitely needed that. It does have an access hole, so you can very easily go in and change your oil. And I did change out the oil plugs. You don't have to take the oil plug out. I forget the name of it. It's just got a lever on it. You hook up a hose, drains it into a bottle. You're done. No mess, no fuss. It's a beautiful thing. So you will notice the light, the Night Rider, our little LED light that we have there. Additionally, on the front, we have, these are from Rugged Ridge. They're supposed to be headlight protectors. They're just really for aesthetics. It gives it a little bit different look. Some other things that we added here as well. We have some Baja Designs Sports Squadron lights. Great for ditch lights. A little extra light on the trail. And then also in the front we have a Rough Country curved LED. It's a 30" light bar. It's curved so that it misses the winch. A straight bar was hitting, but this works out perfectly. As everybody has, replace the normal antenna with a little stubby. Running boards, Go Rhino. We've got a bunch of Go Rhino parts. We really like these. They're really not rock rails per se, but they've taken some pretty good hits and they've done pretty well. Back is, we did get re-geared. We went with 488s. So originally we had 410s. We do tow our camper a lot, so if you follow us, you know that we tow our camper. We would never see 8th gear. We would go downhill. We never saw 8th gear. So we got re-geared. We went with Yukon gears. Went to 488s because again, we're probably gonna stay with 35s for a while. So no need to go up to 513s. But got ARB covers on the front and rear. So we'll show the one in the back so we don't have to go back to the front. Stock fenders. We get asked about these more than anything. Had them Rhino lined. Local shop here in Vegas went and Rhino lined them. They get dirty when they get muddy, but they clean up easily with a little, scrub them up with a brush. Super durable. Really like them. So for a bed rack, we have Go Rhino again. So this is their XRS rack. They've modified it recently, so we have the original model. The newer model connects to the bed a little bit differently, but we had this one, so we're staying with it. On this side, we have some lights mounted so that we have some light over on this side. We have our traction boards. These here are called racks brack. So we actually have a 270 awning. So it's a quick disconnect. So what you do is, it's got a key and a pin lock. You pop these pieces out and you actually take your awning and it clips in, lock it back up. It does lock so that no one can steal your awning, and it wraps all the way around. Really nice. So for bed rails, these are Red Rock 4x4. So they just protect the pinch weld in the side of the bed if you hit anything as you're going up. Also on our rack, we bought the handles. Again, these are all still go Rhino. These help Rachel use the step to get up to the bed to help me, because she's much more nimble than I am. We have a lighted whip antenna, so this is just a quick disconnect for that. This is actually powered through a box that we have that we'll show a little bit later. Here, again, factory Fox shocks. They are the dual reservoir. So these here are Rusty's Off-Road. They come in raw steel. Just threw some paint on them. Do a little protection, because that's one of the low points in the back, and we've smashed it pretty good a couple times. We can't look at this because this is going to be changing soon. That's another surprise. Chase lights. So these are, they do green and they do red and blue. And it goes through the aux beam switch box, which we have inside, which will change the patterns on that if we need to. Also in the rear bumper, some additional backup lights. They're not hooked up as to the reverse lights. They're actually on that switch box as well. They're from Nitto. They're the same manufacturer that makes the lights that are on the side of the beds. A little extra light in the back, especially when we're hooking up the camper at night and things like that. We have our Kinetic Rope, and I have no idea what brand it is. We've had it for quite a while. We've used it a couple of times. We pulled out a skid steer. We've pulled out a couple other vehicles, and again, done really, really well. So the Gladiator on the back, again, used to say Jeep. So this is Urban Outfitters, I believe is the name of it. We like this kit. They did the Mojave, so it matches the colors of the Mojave. It covers the holes as well, because there's line-up holes from the Jeep. Rear bumper, this is something new that we just put on. This is a Bestop. Again, went and did some color coordination with the powder coating. Have our shackles front and back that match again. Back here, what we have is, we ended up using some rigid, they're the 2.0, so they're the second gen toolboxes. So this one is kind of filled with just tools, wrenches, and gloves, and funnels, and things like that. This one actually has our Morrflate compressor. So we've done like a little short on Morrflate. I made a 4-way inflator so that we can inflate all 4 tires at the same time. We use our Morrflate compressor. We go from like 19 to 37 pounds in like 3 minutes. It's super fast to air up, super convenient. So these boxes, there's one here and there's actually another one in the bed that you couldn't see earlier. The one in the bed is, these are from Harbor Freight. They're Apaches instead of Pelicans. They're about half the price. The one in the bed has our 12-ton bottle jack with a little adapter that wraps around the axle. So in the box itself, we have our recovery gear. So we have our tree saver, we have our snatch block, we have our soft shackles, we have our quick tire deflator, some extra valve caps, just bolted on, super convenient. Look underneath, and you can see the ARB cover, just a little more beefy, handles a couple of the big rocks that we've hit a little bit better. Put a little green on it, again, trying to match the theme. Here's the little caps I was talking about. So these, I love these. So you just pop it off, it hangs on, you air up, air down, and just pop them back on. No caps to lose. Those are from 4122. Also from 4122, which is in the lockbox, is our Stinger, which goes in the hitch to protect the receiver. So when we're off-roading, to make sure we don't bottom out, just protects the receiver, especially when we have the camper with us and we want to make sure that we can get it back home. Have our rotor packs, again, locking mount, so no one steals it. One of the things I did change, if you come up here, one of the problems we had was the cap themselves, they break, especially in the desert heat. So these are from AI13. They're 100% billet aluminum. The funnel itself, the spout, as well as the cap is aluminum, and so far they've been great. So if you come here, there's another, this is our switch box. So this is Nylite as well, again off of Amazon. Has some USB plugs that you can, if you want to plug in a phone or anything else. It has our lights, and then also for our lighted whip. That is powered off of the aux beam as well, so that you can't accidentally leave it on. So once you shut the Jeep off, everything goes off. We do have a GMRS and a CB. So this is our Fire Stick CB antenna. Just made a quick little mount for it so I can hide it. So again, we can get in our garage. And it's a 4-foot, so it's got pretty good range. This is our GMRS. This is our low profile antenna for that. So let's talk about the inside a little bit. So we opened up the top. So we have our Sunrider, which is just a quick little convertible top. And we actually picked this up. This just came out. It's a little sunshade. So when we want to get a little bit of shade, we just pull this up. It hooks into the clips where the roof hooks up. It gives us a little bit of shade. We're still on the fence about it. It sits kind of far forward. It's hard to actually reach back and grab it and pull it in, but we'll see how we do. Had our seats done. So these are cat skin. We did a custom design. They are suede and leather because we wanted to match the color as best we could. They do have what's called the grease, which is heated and ventilated. So summertime, throw on the vent, cools your butt and your back, and in the wintertime, kick on the heat, and it definitely helps. So this is our aux beam switch pod. So this is we do have the aux switches that we got from the Jeep factory, but this was an add-on. I like this much better because the aux switches are behind the shifter. Trying to find which light it is. They don't have labels on them. They get to be a pain in the butt. This, they have all custom labels. You know, we have 8 items that are on here. So we have our light bar, we have our Night Rider light, we have our hood lights, the cargo lights, which is that cargo switch. We do have our rock lights as well. Those backup lights in the bumper, and then our strobe or our chase lights. And this is an aux, which remember I had said that you can change the color and the strobe pattern. This is actually hooked up to a relay which goes to ground. So when you hit this, it'll actually change the strobe pattern if you want it to. We do have a dead pedal. I forget what brand it is. I was originally looking for a Quadratech, but they were out of stock forever during the pandemic. So I was able to get that brand, really like it. We have our mats. So these are the Jeep mats, the all-weather mats. We got these separate after we got the Jeep. In the sills, we have the little protectors front and back to stop scratches and things like that. Other little accessories, so like the little rings and stuff like that. Got those off of Amazon. This around the radio, I actually painted myself. Someone has suggested some colors, and it kind of matches the vent rings pretty well. We have a Vantrue camera. So this is one of the newer cameras that we just got. We had another camera for quite a long time, and we found that it would get too hot and it would freeze up. So far, even in the desert heat, it's been really good. We've had it for 3 or 4 months now, and it's been really, really good. So also notice back of the seats, GCPA, just little grab handles. So we have them in the front as well. Just grab handles. And then we have it comes as a kit. It goes around the roll bar, has a couple pouches. So phone mounts. So this is a 67 Designs is the original setup, but I kind of have a mashup of different parts. So it's 67 Designs for the actual bar itself. The arms are actually bullet point because I like them because I had them in colors, so you know I have to match. So we have orange And then again, different parts. Like I have a rock form phone case, and I've always used it. It kind of locks the phone in because the magnet, it kept falling on the ground. So this is kind of a mashup to be able to mount my rock form to the other parts. We also have a piece for our TPMS for our camper tires. When we use our GMRS mic, which we actually have the GMRS radio hidden right now with an external port, but we just put the mic on here, and when we're not using it, we just go ahead and store it in the compartment. So one of the biggest things that Jeep owners hate are these little elastic. You put your stuff in there, they get all stretched out, your stuff falls out, they look horrible. These are from America Adventure Labs. We have front and back, we'll show the back in a minute. And again, had them powder coated to match. 6651 Customs did all our powder coating. The powder coat color itself for Gecko Green, we got from Powder by the Pound. And it's a pretty good match, depending on the light. You know, it's never going to be exact, but it's a pretty good match. I really like these. We have it's a Molly panel, so we have different pouches. If we look in the back here, we have them in the back. We have more pouches as well. So everybody knows the stock Jeep speakers are horrible. We upgraded the dash speakers, went with kickers. Same size, but just a little bit better speaker, and they're a two-way speaker, so sounds a lot better. Also got the pod, so replace the pods that are in the knee panels. Those, dog in the background barking. Those knee panels, if anyone's done them, they are a pain to pull out, but you can get a 6.5-inch speaker in there, and we have Rockford Fosgate speakers in there, sound 100% better. We did get a wiring kit. A wiring kit that goes from the radio, back and forth to the radio, to the amp for the speakers. So you can actually use all the factory wiring, and it has all the resistors in it, so it doesn't throw off, and the Jeep thinking that there's not a speaker hooked up, it's the wrong ohm, and it just stops working for that specific speaker. In the sound bar, there's a, I believe it's SSV is the name of the kit. You have to do some cutting of your sound bar, but it does allow you to put 6.5-inch speakers in there as well. And of course, we have them, they have to be lit up. So they're marine speakers, and they are green right now, but you can set them to any color. It's a kicker little module that's in there that allows you to change the color of the LEDs, change the color of the LEDs of the speaker. But much better sound. And we'll jump to the other side and be able to show you guys the amp as well. Okay. And then down behind the seat, you can look and you can see that we have our, this is our powered subwoofer. So this is a kicker. This was actually originally in our Wrangler, and we moved it over to the Gladiator. It fits really well. You can see plenty of space. Doesn't give booming bass, but it does pretty well. It really evens out the sound in here. And then the other 6 speakers are all powered off of this Rockford Fosgate amp. I actually had one of these in my motorcycle and loved it. Gave it really good sound. And then the wiring kit, you can see I kind of cheated, and you can see the wiring kit here is what I was talking about, goes to and from the back of the radio. So you use all the factory wiring for all your speakers and don't have to worry about messing with anything else. So for mounting the CB, we mounted that on Rachel's side. She's a lot smaller than I am. It was originally on the driver's side, but it was interfering when you went to go drive, just of where it was. So we decided to change the position of it, put it there. It's permanently mounted. The mic stays there. The GMRS itself is actually hidden behind the glove box, and the wire runs over, and we just plug it in. There's a little plug, an extension, RJ45 extension, that we just plug into and hook up the mic. So it makes it super easy. That is for our GMRS microphone. So all we need to do is plug that in, and it will connect to our hidden radio and allow us to use our GMRS. So a couple other items that we have as well is, because we tow the trailer, we need a trailer brake. And I was looking at the factory Mopar one, and Red Arc had really good reviews. So you can see right above the shifter here, You can see the red arc brake controller. So fits right where the factory one would go. You take out the 12 volts cigarette lighter socket, or today cigar socket, and it was able to fit that in there. Goes right into the factory wiring. Again, because we have the tow package, everything's already wired, so made that work out really well. The other things we did was with the seats. I'm not super tall. Desert Does It makes these seat boosters, and they are little brackets. You can see the little billet aluminum brackets that go under the seats. What it does is it tips it back just enough to make it a little more comfortable while you're driving. And we also did it on Rachel's side, and what it actually does is boost her seat up so she could see over the hood, because she was sinking down a little bit. So now she's up about 2 inches, and it makes it much easier for her to see when we're wheeling. All right, we're trying to end, but I keep thinking of more stuff.
Yeah, handsome you are.
That's me.
Show you what to do. Like lean like this. Like, hey, this is my Jeep.
Hey, this is my Jeep. Hey, this is my Jeep. Hey. Hey. This is my Jeep.
I need you to stop making motions. This is my favorite part. The scenery.